I got into Mabinogi expecting literally nothing. I had no expectation even with that. The game still disappointed me. Hello, my name is Mabinogi, and I play forgotten MMOs that nobody remembers. And on the way, I try to find hidden gems. If you're interested in my journey, please drop a like and subscribe to be part of the journey we're on. Let's dive in. So a quick look at the website tells me that Mabinogi promises a community like no other. Unique combat and a deep adventure. Well, that sounds exciting. So we click play and the game launches. But wait, it's not in full screen. Why? Why do these games always launch with a Windows screen? Do they expect me to play like this? I tried to find the settings menu to turn the full screen on, to no success. Of course the settings menu doesn't appear on the start. Why would it? No, in all seriousness. Why? Why do these MMOs not have it set to launch on full screen? Is it that hard? At least put a settings menu on the start so I can change that. This is a huge turn off for an MMO, but alright, we'll move on. So we press start and we choose the only server available. If I can only choose one server, then it's not a choice game. So get me in the server automatically because I don't have any other option. So what would you make me choose? So I click on the one option I have and a character appears. An anime looking female character. Did I choose a character or a server? I go look back and I did choose a server, so why does the character appear when I click it? I click next and it asks me to name the character. Well, I still haven't made one game, but either way I have no choice, so I named him Mabinogi. I know, I can make a character now. Well, that was weird, but we move on. I continue, and I have to choose out of 3 races. The human, which is the normal original human in all games. The elf, which specializes in archery or magic. And the giant, which specializes in close combat. So races have racial abilities and stats. I like that. It gives the races more depth than just looking different. So I pick a giant, because the other races look too feminine and young for my liking. And I'll try to make my character as masculine as possible, which I don't think will be that easy in this game. And oh god, you can choose your age. But wait, you can only choose ages between 10 and 17, on a game played by mostly 30 to 40 year olds. This is so creepy. But we still move on, and as I said, I'll try to make the character as masculine as possible, which is so hard in this game. I give him a beard and a long hair and we make our character. I spawn in a very white, spacey kind of place. And oop, a cutscene. I see an NPC dressed in a black robe and my gut says that in typical MMO fashion, I'll have to talk to her. So I do. She rambles about the game and how she guides souls like me into the game. Then she drops me into the world and the graphics really don't look that bad for a game that was launched before I was born. It actually looks beautiful. When I spawn, I meet up with this old man that is supposed to be the chief of the village. I give him a letter written by now, the girl we talked to earlier. He welcomes me into the world and in typical fashion he gives me a quest to go talk to an NPC down by the inn. But wait, look, there is another system that I don't like in MMOs, and that is auto pathfinding. We have a big world that you can let players explore by themselves when you can make their character do the moving for them, so you can cut the cost of having an exploration element. And I have a chat with this girl and she tells me that she heard the spirit healer saying that she needs to talk to me. How? I just got into the game. I just arrived in the world. The chief literally just welcomed me into the world. How does the healer already know me? You know, most people might say I'm nitpicking, but I really care about this stuff. I like being immersed in the story of the game. When inconsistencies like these appear, it really hurts the player's immersion. Anyway, I go off to the healer and she teaches me about pets, and she gives me a horse as my first pet. I know, I have to name it first, but wait, the name is taken. Since when? Since when are pet names exclusive? So I can't name my pet whatever I want. I hate this. Exclusivity should only be on names of players, not on pets. And by the way, I look into the pet tab and I see that I have 92 minutes left on my pet. I'm sure the system isn't put there to encourage players to buy permanent mounts from the store later on. And I summon my pet, and oh, I can summon him inside. And I can ride him inside too. That's weird, but whatever, it doesn't really bother me as long as the healer doesn't mind the horse being inside their house. Anyway, I get after the healer's house, and I autopath my way into another quest. And while on autopath, I try to open the big map by pressing M, but it doesn't appear. Pressing M only turns off my minimap and it turns it back on when I press it again. What? Is there no map for this game? I search for it, but I don't find anything. So I guess autopath and minimap are my friends on this journey. And I found a blue hair tie. While autopathing, I mean exploring this world. I autopath, I mean look to find to whom it belongs. And I found a girl standing by the river. And I guess it belongs to her based on my autopath, I mean my exploration. And oops, I get disconnected and the game asks me to wait 30 seconds to log in again, so I do. But I still can't enter the game, so I restart the game and oh, I can enter now. And I do. I give this girl her hair tie. She sounds a little too excited that I can see her. She tells me that she's been around for hundreds of years. Of course she has. Every little girl in these anime MMOs is hundreds of years old just for legal purposes. Anyway, she tells me that no one can see her, but apparently for some reason I can. And she's happy that someone can finally speak to her, and she's obnoxious. Not in a good way when a character is a villain and they're obnoxious on purpose, but no, this girl's dialogue. I can't explain it, but I really hate it. It's like the writers are trying to make her cute as much as possible, but they made her sound and talk like a 6-year-old girl. I hope that's not on purpose. And while talking to her, she tells me about something called the rebirth system. She doesn't explain what that is, so I will try. The rebirth system makes you go back to level 1, but it gets you to upgrade your class from what I understand. So I get teleported back to the girl I met in the beginning. I talk to her and get rebirthed. I can change my character's appearance too while being rebirthed. That's cool. I choose for the close combat class, which looks like the classic warrior from every other MMO. And when I choose it, I unfortunately go back to the planet girl that I was talking to earlier. And after I have a long, and I mean really long talk with this obnoxious character, she teaches me about autopathing, which is a system I already know because you threw it in my face in the beginning game. And a bonus feature, other than the autopathing, is the Traveler's Guide, which gets you to teleport to anywhere in the world without any walking. But the good thing is that if you're below level 20, you don't pay the travel fee, so that's a good thing I suppose. So I talk to her again, and she starts telling me about the big city of Dunbarton. So I think finally I'll get to see the real player hubs and see all the other players. And I see the total of 3 players there. 2 of them are AFK, and 1 is a giant with big low wings. And of course, they are AFK too. Again, I autopath my way through the quests, and I get to meet Aranwen. She seems to be the combat trainer. So I go to let her teach me about the combat, and she teleports me to another big white place to train. And goblins spawn and now they die in one hit. So no fun. But oh god, the combat. I don't know how to describe it, but it feels clunky. It feels laggy, like really laggy. It's not smooth at all. And a big dragon spawns in and I say finally, I'll have a fight that will last more than half a second. And no, he dies in 4 hits and he doesn't damage me at all. So I get back to the city and I finish the quest disappointed. Now let's take some time to explore the city. But you know what? This big city they talked about seems really small compared to my character. I don't know if it is because I picked a giant as my race or the scale of this game is scuffed, but I feel like my character is too big for the game's world. I find it really hard to get immersed in this game's world. Whether it's my character being bigger than the buildings in this game, or whether it is the really bad dialogues that these NPCs have, or even the autopathing in this game. It really doesn't feel like a game I could immerse myself in. I'll end my journey with Mabinogi here, and if I can say one good thing about this game, it's the art style. I've said it in my previous video, and I'll say it again. I love cartoonish art styles in MMOs. It doesn't get outdated easily, and for a game that was released in 2004, literally before I was even born, it doesn't look bad at all. Alright, enough with that, and if you enjoyed the video, please like it, and sub to the channel for more videos. See you all in the next video.